Your mind won't stop racing. And no matter what you do, you keep replaying the same situation over and over again in your head. Does that sound familiar? Let me tell you, overthinking steals your peace. But in today's video, I'm going to show you some simple ways that's going to calm your mind and get the peace that you deserve. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Kiaundra Jackson Show. I am your host, licensed marriage and family therapist, Kiaundra Jackson. Now, before we get into it, I need for you to put in the comment section below, are you someone who tends to overthink? Now, we're not going to judge you here, but I think this is going to be a community of people who can support you because they can relate to you. Let's talk about it. So the first thing to help you stop overthinking and to find peace in your life is to use what I call a thought traffic light system. That was a tongue twister. So essentially what this means is when you start to overthink and you're going down that downward spiral in your mind, I need for you to envision a traffic light signal. You know, the red, green, and yellow. But for the red, I want you to stop and think, is this thought helpful? For the yellow, I want you to pause and pose a question to yourself and say, am I stuck in a loop here or am I trying to solve a problem? And for green, it's simple. If the thought is productive, it's all systems go. But if it's not, then you need to redirect your focus. But before you do any of that, you need to do my second tip for you, which is to recognize your overthinking triggers. You absolutely, positively have to pay attention to the situations, to the people, to the thoughts, to the experiences that trigger you to think more over and over and over and over again. And for some people, this is an emotion. So here, if y'all haven't learned this before, I've talked about this on my channel before, but your thoughts impact your feelings, feelings impact your behaviors, behaviors impact your outcome. Say that again. You didn't think you were going to get a therapy lesson today, but here we are. Thoughts impact your feelings, feelings impact your behaviors, behaviors impact your outcome. So before you do anything else, awareness is always the first step. I probably should have started with this one. The third tip to stop overthinking and find more peace is to limit information overload. This means the information that you are taking in, whether that's TV, whether that's scrolling on social media, whether that's watching the news, whether that's reading articles, whatever it is that you are doing on a daily basis, you need to try to limit that as much as possible. Because for a lot of us, overthinking stems from taking in too much information. We got too many choices. We should do this. We should do that. Oh, you need to drink your water. You need to lay your edges. You need to sleep 8 hours. You need to invest in crypto. You need to go and figure out what's going on in the world. You need to work out 5 times a day. You need to, we're consumed with so many messages all day, every day. And when we consume so much, we think, oh, we got to do this and do that and do that and do this. And oh, we're maintaining this. And oh my gosh, other people are doing that. Now I'm comparing myself. It's so much happening. So in order to prevent all of that from overwhelming you, you need to stop, set boundaries for yourself on social media, on news, on who you talk to, on who you engage with, information that you're taking in, because that is going to prevent you from comparing yourself to other people and what other people are doing and not doing, which is preventing you from being and showing up the way that you're supposed to be and do and show up. So limiting information overload reduces your mental stress. The fourth way to stop overthinking and to find more peace is to set a decision timer, or basically just set a decision time limit. This means that you are intentionally giving yourself an allotted amount of time to assess the situation, to have your questions, to think about it, to analyze it, to make a decision, and then to move on. Now, obviously, this is like working out. You got to build a muscle up until you get to this point. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. But sometimes we are just taking way too long to make a decision. If your partner is asking you what you want for dinner, it should not take you 8 hours to be like, well, I want tacos, but I kind of want a Mexican food, but now I really want Italian, but I had that yesterday and now I don't want that. I want some more veggies. Maybe I should eat healthy. Maybe I should go vegan. It shouldn't take you that long. So you need to set a decision time limit. And if he says, hey babe, what you want for lunch? What you want for dinner? What you want to eat? Give yourself, hey babe, let me think about it real quick. Give yourself an allotted amount of time, whether that's 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you need to figure it out. do that, but don't spend an excessive amount of time on things. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but overthinking thrives on indecisiveness. So setting limits enforces you to take action, which causes you to move on in your brain and not be stuck overthinking. You get it? And last but not least, the fifth way, and before I give my final thoughts, is to engage in thought dumping. I've talked about this a little bit in a previous video that I did where I was talking about a book called The Artist's Way. I did a video on creativity, and one of the dopest books that I've read on that is called The Artist's Way. I think her name is Julia Cameron or something, but she has this concept of morning pages. Morning pages is when you wake up in the morning, you literally take a sheet of paper and you write out whatever comes to your mind. Don't critique it. Don't have punctuation. Don't try to make it perfect. Don't try to make it make sense. Whatever comes to your mind, if it's too foo boo boo, doo 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 goo, coo 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 coo, I, me, shoot, whatever comes into your mind, you write it. And the concept of that is, I said too coo coo, I'm crazy, y'all. I'm sorry. But the concept of this is taking whatever is consuming your mind, whatever is in there, and dumping it out, giving you space and opportunity to bring in new things and to not feel overwhelmed by your to-do list or a whole bunch of things that you might have on your plate. So at the beginning of the day, when you first wake up, before you even start your task and start the day, you are letting all of those things out, which should relieve some of your mental stress and load, causing you to overthink less or not at all. And before I give my final thoughts, make sure to know that you're not judging what you write. Remember, that's the key to this part. So as I give my final thoughts on this, I feel like overthinking is something that we all experience, right? I mean, there's no human being on the face of this earth who hasn't overthought a situation, experience, or a circumstance. But for you, you don't want it to overwhelm and consume you. So these are some tips and some tools that you can utilize to reduce that load. Now, obviously, it's not exhaustive. There's a million and one other things and other ways that you can utilize or things you can utilize to stop overthinking and find more peace. But it just helps calm our mind just a little bit. We need an escape. We need an outlet. We need to be able to take time and space to not have a million and one thoughts and we feeling like we have to do everything at once all of the time. And now we don't find peace. Now we don't have rest. And like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, overthinking really does steal your peace. And I want you to be as peaceful as possible. I think I actually did a video on that, so I'll link it up here and put it in the description. But thank you so much for watching another episode of The Kiaundra Jackson Show. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That helps me to create videos like this for y'all every single week. So go ahead and press that button, subscribe, share this with somebody who needs it, and I will see you next time. Be blessed. Bye.